Hey guys, what's going on? We're going to do episode dos, numero uno of Altcoins Anonymous. What's going on? I came up with the name a long time ago. The first episode wasn't really going to be like, hey, this is Altcoins Anonymous. But this is really the first show of Altcoins Anonymous. The first name is kind of Rebuttal John. And kind of just hashing out where we're going with our viewpoints. Hopefully you guys took a gander with your ears on that one. I thought it was kind of productive. And in fact, so this is basically just going to be kind of a rebuttal to his rebuttal of what I said. Also, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin Gold, GPU Gold. Oh, I need more gold. Oh, I can't wait. The only problem is that I'm not like a Bitcoin hodler. I don't hodl the Bitcoins, so like, I'm not gonna have any Bitcoin Gold when this shit starts. But you live and you learn, right? Right? Are we learning right now? I think we're learning right now. I think the thing is that like you gotta know when to hodl and you gotta know when to sell that bitch, and you gotta know when to buy that motherfucker back. The buy or fail. So we're going to go over some Bitcoin Gold. It is about to debut. Let's actually just go look at the website real quickly. Bitcoin Gold. I'm setting up my things to mine it currently. Bitcoin Gold. What is it called? btcgpu.com. .org. btcgpu.org. Let's just go to their GitHub real quickly. It's called GitHub, right? GitHub? GitHub. 2 hours and 28 minutes and 24, 3, 2, 1 seconds until Bitcoin Gold is released. And now, so this is kind of confusing. I guess we're going to just start off with Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold was kind of confusing because, it was released, or I guess they forked a month ago. But it wasn't really a fork a month ago. They just decided to snapshot the chain a month ago. So, where is it? Block. What's the block? Maybe it's on the GitHub. Hold on, let me just look at the GitHub. So on block 491,407, which was roughly October 25th, 2017. Actually, I think it was a couple days earlier than that, if I remember correctly, because I remember being like, holy shit, man, I wish I did this all, and then I got really pissed off. I thought this whole thing was over already, because what it looked like to me was that they had forked the chain, and there wasn't any support, and then, like, all the things that were utilizing the new Bitcoin Gold protocol seemed to not be, actually like active services anymore. So I just figured somebody was like, yeah, we're gonna fork it, and then it just completely fizzled out. Turns out nope, it didn't fizzle out, and the shit's gonna be dropping very, very soon. And almost coincidentally, right after SegWit 2x lost its momentum, lost its support. So now we're seeing people need to put their fucking money somewhere, right? So you're going to see a lot of buying and selling of Bitcoin Gold. I'm kind of curious to what's going to happen because, we saw what happened with Bitcoin Cash, right? Bitcoin Cash, everybody sold their Bitcoin Cash, went down to fucking nothing, and now we see Bitcoin Cash is fucking going crazy! And perhaps Bitcoin Cash really is a true Bitcoin. I don't know. No, but let's steer. I'm gonna just give that argument to John. I'm gonna go over what he said. Also, maybe this is actually kind of a good segue. We're gonna go back and forth, I guess. But I'm just gonna give it to John. I was doing a little bit of a thought experiment, and I think he was taking me too literally on the thing. But I'm just gonna give it to him. And maybe he actually truly deserves it. Maybe I'm not actually giving it to him. Maybe it was always his. But let's just say that, you can't call Bitcoin 2 Bitcoin. That'll never happen. It'll always be really Bitcoin 2. You can't call it Bitcoin. I feel like I'm really giving you this one, John, because I feel like you can call it whatever the fuck you want. If everybody calls it what they want, they can do that. But whatever. We're just going to say you're right. You can't call it that. And the reason why I'm saying that you're right is because we've had two proponents of Bitcoin Gold say that they are going. It's not Bitcoin, or sorry, Bitcoin Cash is not going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be Bitcoin Cash, and that is Jihan Wu, who I'm like just now becoming familiar with. This guy is really interesting, and I actually really like this dude a lot. Jihan Wu, dude, you're never going to listen to this, but you are a fucking savage, dude. I love you, bro. I don't know how the fuck you came across this little fucking nook and cranny, but dude, keep doing what you're doing, man. Have fun, bro. Like, good luck. You're fucking nuts, dude. And I love your Twitter, man. That shit, you talk some shit. That shit's hilarious. Jihan Wu, and then I think Gavin Andreessen was supporting Bitcoin Cat. Or no, sorry, not Gavin. Oh, this one surprised me because I actually like kind of like pay attention to what this dude says. Luke Dash Jr. was like, if I'm going to use an altcoin, it's going to be Bitcoin Cash. How's that, motherfuckers? I'm not going to use fucking Doge or Monero. If I'm really going to use an altcoin, it's going to be Bitcoin. I prefer Bitcoin Cash. And these were like I think Jihan said this about like a couple days ago. Like probably I think the second was on Twitter. And then I think actually the quote I'm saying about Luke Dash Jr. is probably somewhere late October. But anyway, look, I'm just going to give it to John. Bitcoin Cash is never going to be Bitcoin. My argument was that, look, if Bitcoin Cash ends up, like, if everybody's using Bitcoin Cash, I think eventually people will just start calling it Bitcoin. Like, I don't understand why you have to even, like, it's just a branding thing. But, like, if it really usurps all the utility of Bitcoin, I feel like they're so close together in the same family of just everything that eventually it'll just be like it's Bitcoin. But you know what? Whatever. I get what he's saying. Like, you're like, it's not. It really isn't the same thing. You can't change anything about Bitcoin Core and call it Bitcoin Core still. It's now a new protocol. I get that argument, dude. Like, I totally understand that. Not really trying to dwell on that too much. But actually, you know what? Let's dwell a bit. Let me just go through this SoundCloud thing real quickly. Sorry, we're going all over the place today, and this is going to be a quick episode. But I wanted to give John was very polite. Let's put it like that. He was very polite to go through my entire fucking rant, and then actually commented quite a bit. So I want to, return that gratitude. I'm not saying this sarcastically at all. I may have sounded like I'm being sarcastic. I'm not. I really, really want to return this gratitude. I want to respond to what he's saying. So I want to go through what he says, and I'm going to do it live because I feel like chatting that's a waste of content. If I just put it in the comments, I actually can just make new content. So let's just do it like that. I never said Bitcoin is the number one parts, whether it's true or not. We all know that's what you really think, though, bro. And I was being exaggerative. Bitcoin number one, okay. I never said it had to be released by Core. CUASF. So I understand that to be user-activated soft forks, and this is something I still need to get educated on. I don't understand the difference between soft forks, hard forks, all that shit. Yes, 100%. People can tell things people can call things anything they want, but for the sake of most topics related to this in common discourse, it's misleading. Yeah, gotcha. I agree. I'm not going to debate you on that one. It wasn't my debate. My thing is more about time. I think over time, if it usurps the utility, and I kind of like that phrase, usurping utility. If it usurps the utility of the same thing, you may just call it that. And my examples are pretty fucking abstract. Like I was saying, like a SIM card is now Bitcoin, or Bitcoin is now a SIM card. And then I was thinking about it, I was like, well, maybe you actually can do some things you can do with a SIM card with Bitcoin, but like that's beyond the fact. Like that's really deep into the code. I don't really even understand what the code can do, to be honest. But my point is that if it really, like, no one's using SIM cards in South Africa for making phone calls, maybe they are. That's kind of where the value comes from. But my point is that they're really for a value transfer more so than the making the phone calls, I think. But that kind of contradicts how I'm thinking that the value exists anyway. So whatever, that might be a bad example. But yeah, I agree. It's not for the clarity of the discussion. Let's fucking, you call a spade a spade. Bitcoin Core is core, and Bitcoin Core needs to be fucking defined. Like that is on GitHub. There's a specific group of people that kind of allow commits to kind of take place, and you have to kind of convince those people that those are good things. And I'm fine with that. Like, let's call that what it is, though. That's Bitcoin Core. And then you have the other shit that's not that it's basically they copy Bitcoin and they're like, well, everything's a little bit better because of this. Blah, 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 blah. And it's going to be easier down the road. Blah, 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 blah. And we're the new Bitcoin committee. Blah, 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 blah. I get that too. And like that, none of those are better. Like we're all agreeing on that. Nothing that fucking says that they're going to be Bitcoin or Bitcoin 2 or Monero or Litecoin. None of those really have proven to be better than the Bitcoin Core GitHub committee, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And I'm not debating that either. Okay. But, and as far as the clarity of the conversation, let's differentiate. Totally 100% agree. But like I said, my thing is more about over time. If it usurps the utility, why fucking bother saying cash? Like it's Bitcoin. It's the same thing. We all get it. It's not a big deal. And my thing was like, you know, if eventually everybody starts drinking Coca-Cola with sugar, no one's going to really give a shit about, you know, oh no, the Coca-Cola we all really had to care about was the one with, you know, corn syrup. No one's going to be like Coca-Cola corn syrup, Coca-Cola sugar. If we just all don't use Coca-Cola corn syrup anymore, Coca-Cola sugar is not Coca-Cola, and that's just fine. And whatever, it's a loose argument, but I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. Also, I feel like you may agree with me a little bit, but that's fine. Yes, I enjoy this type of blah blah blah. Okay, philosophically, all altcoins are part of Bitcoin. Hold on, I skipped ahead here. Sorry. You don't have to call it. People can call it anything they want. Okay, so you don't have to call it Bitcoin 2 or whatever. It's just fact that the original is the actual Bitcoin. Even if it falls out of use, it will historically be referred to as the original. Yeah, I agree. Yes, historically, yes, but colloquially. And here's the thing. Most people don't care about the history of Bitcoin. When you read CNBC news, and this is, like, I get it, dude. Like, this is the fucking spin. So I'm playing into the propaganda when I do this, and I'm not trying to do that, dude. I'm not pumping fucking Bcash or anything. But, like, when you see articles on CNBC, they go, oh, the Bitcoin upgrade Segwit 2X didn't go through. What's next for Bitcoin? It's like people equate that, and it translates. Like, the normal, like, fucking person, you know, John Doe, whoever, who doesn't understand Bitcoin, goes, oh, there's going to be an upgrade, but they didn't do it? Okay, well, I guess it's still Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're not differentiating. They don't get it. But I understand what you're saying. I agree with you as well. What else? You're making my argument for me. I'm not even sure what I said there, so I'm just going to agree. I'm just going to assume you're correct. Yes, I enjoy this type of philosophy, but what Bitcoin affects existence, society, and how it makes us behave, it's a phenomena. See, now, I don't know if I agree with this because I think that part of this phenomena is just gambling. And, like, that's not new. And I agree the users decide more than the devs or miners or such, but we do need some sort of definition to differentiate one thing from another as long as the old chain coexists. As long as the old chain coexists. That's fucking very key. And my whole argument was like, no, we're not using the old chain anymore for anything. We can call this Bitcoin. So, I don't know if you're agreeing with me on that one. I think you might be. Yeah, I don't know if you would admit to that, though. Maybe you are talking about blockchains and the whole network and the community as a large, but it's not all Bitcoin, but all tied in many ways. Okay, I think you're starting to agree with me here. I just don't like treating Bitcoin like some sort of interpretive crown because people all think they can fix Bitcoin and it should be whatever idea they imagine. But that is embedded into Bitcoin, though. It's an open source project. It should be whatever we imagine, as long as it kind of fits with the code and the protocol. If we can write it and it all works, then if it's going to be something that's utilized and beneficial to the users of it, it should be whatever we imagine. I actually kind of disagree with your statement that that's a crazy idea. I'm not upset. My only concern is whether we can find a way to have discourse without conflict. Yeah, dude, I'm not upset either. And I don't want to harp on this, dude. I just like, man, dude. If I feel like I'm gonna be, if I think someone is not really taking me seriously in a discussion, which I've had the feeling you weren't, I'm gonna troll the shit out of you. And I feel like you don't like. I'm Megatroll 69, bro. I'm a product of the internet. I play video games. I tried to play video games online for a living, and it didn't really work out. But I am a child and product of fucking toxicity. So if I feel like you're being offensive to me, and I honestly don't think I was trying to be toxic to you, but like I will basically set my ground rules and very sternly. So I wasn't upset, but like I kind of, you know, I kind of made my playing field. You know what I mean? And it's like, I hope you respect me as far as, you know, I demand respect and not necessarily, you know, you don't need to, you know, go out of your way, But if I sense that you're being disrespectful, I'm gonna fucking make it known. And honestly, dude, I can do it all day. I just don't, like, you're somebody I respect, so I don't want to do that live on air with you. Like, I don't want to troll you, dude. But if I feel like you're being disrespectful to me, I'm gonna have a field day. But I'm not trying to do that on, I'm like, to someone I actually care about. Like, I'm not trying to like have a stupid argument with you just because I can. Whereas I felt like you kind of were overstepping that boundary a bit. You're trying to sun me a bit, and I was like, yo, motherfucker, I'm the son motherfucker right in this motherfucker. I'll fuck your bitch ass up. Just saying. I can get out of hand, and but I feel like I it's within the rules. So if I feel like you're being offensive to me, dude, and like that's kind of why I was trying to call it what it was. I didn't really want to pursue much more of the discourse with you because I feel like I was getting you were starting to be, you kind of continually being offensive to me and kind of, continually demeaning my intelligence. I understand I'll never understand this stuff on the level you do, but, my opinions aren't meant to just troll you, John, or even just to create friction within the discourse of the Bitcoin community. I really do believe these things. And so if it really is that much of a friction to the community and people are getting upset with me about it, I enjoy that. I actually am embracing that. Like, I think that the reason why people might be getting upset is because I might be actually hitting a nerve that maybe need to be struck a bit. And we're seeing the effects of that. Like, we have these fucking altcoins that are just getting spawned out of nowhere. And it's like, why do we have this? Like, why do people care about this? It's like, because people want fucking free money. And that's why Bitcoin originally caught on. And that's why it's going to continue to go on. And I hear, this is one other thing. When you go, what's the alternative to Bitcoin? If Bitcoin isn't so great, what's the alternative to Bitcoin? It's not that there's an alternative to Bitcoin. It's just stop fucking pumping this shit. Stop telling every person you know to buy this shit. You stop being a shill for Bitcoin. It's a great thing to use it for, but like, you're being dependent on other people buying into it, so you're prolonging your wealth. That's the definition of a Ponzi scheme. So, I mean, like, and I'm not trying to say that, like, it's not, this is something you believe in, so you should tell people to buy into it if that's, that what they should believe in. But this is also, like, fucking the classic textbook case of a bubble. I'm not getting involved. So that's just my personal opinion. Maybe I'm fucking wrong. If, like I said, Bitcoin can go up to $100,000 next year, and I'm shit out of luck, guy. You're 100% right. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I don't know. I'm not going to bet on that one. I'm not going to bet on that one. I'm just not the way it is, not the current environment that Bitcoin exists and the way that it's flourishing, the way it's being developed. If Bitcoin Cash can double its value overnight because they said that there is not going to be a segment 2x, everybody's saying right now the price is being manipulated. I don't know if the price is being manipulated or if there's just enough propaganda that people are manipulating themselves and don't realize it. I don't know. I don't know who is the invisible hand. If there is an invisible hand or whatever is controlling the market here, I just know that it's not safe to buy into personally for me. Like, I don't find it safe. And like, maybe you could say, well, do you really think like the United States government, like USD, is something that you can really buy into and like really like is reliable? And more so than this at this point, I would say. Yeah, more so than Bitcoin. Definitely more so than Bitcoin. 100% more so than Bitcoin. People are accountable for that shit. And yeah, fucking governments fuck up all the time. Banks get bailed out. Trillions of dollars go missing of debt, whatever. You know what I mean? It's not a perfect system, but like this shit is like it looks more like a scam than not, especially when you see the way that it's developing in just such a short amount of time, and then like it fluctuates at like basically like a word spoken from like a few like a small group of people that are like deeply embedded into Bitcoin. If someone says something weird, all of a sudden the price goes crazy. So it's it's weird. It's not as reliable. Okay, so what else? Sorry, that was long. So let me just go back. So you said, I'm not upset. My only concern whether we can find Discord without conflict. Yeah, dude, I'm not trying to have conflict with you, bro. But if I feel like, you're being offensive, like, I there was a couple times where I was like, hey, man, why don't we just stop? Because I felt like we're, we were going down an immature path, and if you really want to do that with me, I'm the last person, and not you or anyone, and I'm really not trying to gloat about this, but really though, like, it is a fact. I'm the last person people really want to be immature with. I can stoop very low. So if I really do feel like you're doing that with me, I'm gonna play that game. So I don't want to do that and make content with you on an online show with that, because it's not going to be healthy. That's not a threat at all, by the way. I'm like, it's not a proud fact of my personality, but I do also take pride in it. I'm not proud of this, but I am very proud of this. Oh man, I'm sick. I'm a sick little boy. I'm a sick little man. Okay, am I upset? I'm upset. You're upset. I think I worry plenty. That's why I think you do worry. And that is good. People need you for that. That is good. You shouldn't trust them really, but you can use reputation, historical behavior. Historically, I'm going to say that I don't believe in these people. You can also consult people that can read the code and have them walk you through it. By the end, it's a bit of a leap, and no one can completely remove that, I think. I agree. Yeah, there is a lot of peer review. There is peer review in Bitcoin. I'm not going to debate that. 100% there's peer review. Whether or not the peer review is influenced though, or heavily influenced, I don't know if that's or can be heavily influenced. I think there is debate on that. For example, lots of people hate on Zcash because of the Genesis ceremony requiring tons of trust by users. So that's even worse. I don't know what that's referring to because I didn't actually listen to this. I've listened to what I said again, just not in reference to the comments. So some of these things might get lost. Okay, some of these things just seem to be kind of reactionary to like me kind of losing my frame of thought here, which I was kind of worried about that. I didn't really want to release that content especially without editing it, because I didn't want it to seem like I was at a loss of words and then I'm just making shit up, because I would be at a loss of words, and that's because my vocabulary in the matter is not well versed. I'm not very well versed in blockchain, multiple different cryptocurrencies, or like the ins and outs of how blockchain technology really works. So I was a little worried about me. Like, I'm not just trying to spin what I think is the correct way. I'm really looking for the way that I'm conveying what I think correctly, not that I come off correct. Because I don't think I'm correct. I just need to make sure that I'm wrong. So I have to say what I'm saying, what I really think correctly. And so sometimes I do stumble over what I'm saying. And I feel like that's why I'm kind of reluctant to even put this content out there, because I don't want it to be held. It's just a really thing. Like, a lot of these people here, I'm not pumping anything. I have nothing to pump. I'm just very, very skeptical. And I have a position in cryptocurrency. Because I do think that there is something to be thought about here, but I also think that a lot of this is just people kind of getting caught in bullshit because everybody wants free money. Like, that's why I want free money, so I think everybody else wants it. And like, I'm just using my own personal perspective and applying it to everyone else. And like, I think that I actually do that on a very minimal level. So I think actually, people are much less genuine in the way they express their interest in cryptocurrency. I don't know how I got lost on this tangent. Because I don't want to be misconstrued. I don't want my lack of being prepared to be misconstrued for my necessity for being correct or calculating my responses. Because I am trying to calculate my response. I want it to be correct. To really convey what I feel and what I think about this stuff. I just don't want it to sound like I'm trying to phrase things carefully so I don't step on myself, because I actually don't really care about that. And that actually, I implore people, if anybody actually does fucking feel inclined to go listen to this, please call me out on my bullshit. And I actually meant to now that reminds me, I actually meant to preface this whole thing with saying, hey, look guys, I actually may contradict myself right off the bat here. And and I actually did with John. I was like, hey man, you're right about this whole thing, even though I don't necessarily even, more I say that, less I agree. But anyway, the point is that like, I might contradict myself, and I think that's a good thing. Don't take anything I'm saying as like, not that you would, but like as like, none of this is scripture. None of this is written in stone. My opinions are written in stone. I don't really even understand how to really convey most of the shit I'm thinking, because I don't really even understand most of the vocabulary that's used in the whole blockchain debate. So like, I'm still learning this as I speak about it. And so a lot of times what I'm saying may even come out wrong. And once again, like, I'm worried about if I say something wrong, I might mean something else, and then I might say that's what I meant, and then people might be like, oh, you're just changing what you're saying because you want to sound right. And like I said, I don't care. Like, I'm very public about, what, like, where my positions are, what I think is interesting in cryptocurrency. Like, any of you guys can always hit me up. Most of you guys know where I am at the Coin Dojo if you really need to contact me or any of that stuff. Or, if you need to hit me up on Twitch, twitch.tv/UncleMuscles, please feel free to come in, hit me up, talk some bullshit about cryptocurrency. I would love that. That's, like, my favorite fucking thing. Like, I'd rather, if I could play Overwatch and just talk about crypto, I would do that. Please, like, let's get that one going. Anyway, but like I said, I don't fucking really have, like, I'm not pumping anything here. And maybe the more I say that seems less and less likely, especially because I'm about to pump the shit out of Bitcoin Gold. But please, guys, like, whatever I'm saying, take that, like take it with a grain of salt. Like, I don't think you should do what I'm doing. I'm just sharing my experiences. And I really hope that if you can learn something from that, you do. And above anything else, you just find it entertaining. I don't even really care if you learn anything. I don't even think I have much to teach people. And I'm not really even worried about that. I think just the way I talk about it is more fun. And maybe that's arrogant. Maybe it's just whatever. But I hope you guys do enjoy this because that's really all I care about. Anyway, back to the shit that matters. So I'm replying to Bitcoin error log. Okay. Bitcoin TX is a smart contract, and there are smart contract dev projects for BTC. They just needed SegWit to progress. Okay, yeah, smart contracts will be, yeah, that's the thing. So, like, smart contracts was an ETC thing, though. So let's not give ETC its credit where it's due. And also, most, like, people will argue there's no reason for smart contracts. I don't really understand I don't know if that's true or not. But I do know that there's a lot of other projects that are Bitcoin related that are striving to now implement smart contract like technologies into the protocol or as a third party thing that complements the protocol. Excuse me. And I would say that is Bitcoin assimilating with Ethereum more so than Ethereum assimilating with Bitcoin. Well, if LTC were worth more, it would certainly get more dev attention. So if everybody, yeah, okay, so this is where I start talking crazy shit. Like, everybody go fucking buy LTC, or maybe that's not. I say that at the end. Yeah, I think that's true too, though. If, like, for all of a sudden, and we're gonna see with Bcash. Well, let's find out. If LTC were worth more, it certainly would get more dev attention. Let's see what happens with the Bcash developers. Let's see if it gets more attention now. If people really go, hey man, maybe there's something to these faster transactions. Maybe it can be PayPal and Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin Cash is PayCoin, PayPal Bitcoin. Palbit. BitPal. I like BitPal. That's my new company. I'm going to go get that website before I go and upload this. This did happen. Segment compromised ASIC boost. Okay, so this ASIC... Also, this is why I gave Jihan that shout out. That motherfucker, I don't know if he is... And I mean motherfucker with the utmost respect and love, dude. I don't know what the deal is with ASIC boost, and whatever, bro. Roll with it. Roll with that motherfucker. Go, 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 go. Let me get some. Don't forget to send your donations to my Bitcoin address that I will put up at some point. And don't forget to submit your Bitcoin Cash donations to the same address, and also Bitcoin Gold. That's easy, right? It's easy. Just gotta make sure you have the fucking wallets up. I like it. These forks, they're on to something, bro. They're on to something. Bitcoin devs aren't done. They have tons of optimizations to make, and they plan to do that, improve scaling, reduce costs, etc. Yeah. But you know what? Bitcoin Cash did it faster. I'm just going to pump Bitcoin Cash right now because it's kind of fun. When they get it right, it will propagate CUASF. Again, okay, I don't know what is... You say CUASF, but I don't know where I should go to look for that. And I'd rather just have John Seth explain it to me. Or you. But you're not here for this. I wish you just explained it to me in there. Or Talon. So I think Talon would be good to get in on this. Like, Talon understands all these like little specific mining questions that I have, and I feel like because he runs nodes and shit and mines, so I don't know. I feel like Talon is the technical dude to get in on this, and I'd love to have him on my podcast. I should see if he'd like be interested in that. All right, whatever. Actually, also Bell, I'm gonna try to get you on this too at some point. This is separate. I'm not trying to replace bit by bit if anybody is somehow concluded that. This is totally separate. This is mostly me just ranting to myself. I've been wanting to do this for a while. There's actually one episode of this that already exists that I recorded a long time ago, and I'm very reluctant to put that up. but I think I will. I just have to go find it. It's like I record these on my iPhone with the voice memo app, and it's from an old backup, and it's right after I started listening to Bitcoin Uncensored, and it has to do with like these guys opened up my eyes to like this just fun little universe, and how much I love Bitcoin Uncensored and like Junseth and Krith. So that is the first episode of Altcoins Anonymous. In fact, I even think I named it that on the show. So if I end up finding it, I will put it up there. A lot of it is me just trying to blow Chris and Junseth. But I mean, like they made Bitcoin fun for me, dude. I would have never been involved in this shit. Like I would have never met John. Like I wouldn't have been like the Coin Dojo, Sean. I wouldn't have been exposed to any of these people. Raw ODB up on my fucking house. Any of these motherfucking people I wouldn't have been exposed to without Bitcoin Uncensored. So I mean, that's to me like that community. And I would always blend the whole thing together, like the Coin Dojo, Bitcoin Uncensored, like whatever. It's to me like that's all Bitcoin, baby. I love it. I love being a part of that. So I love you guys. I forgot how I got onto that one. What if they do? But supporting Bcash is way more risky than Bitcoin. Is it though, bro? Because I see the price jumping right now. We aren't trying to sell it to anyone. Dude, just you do. Every time I fucking see some random shit, there's somebody with a sign that says buy Bitcoin. Don't tell me. Everyone asks me, hey man, do you want to mine Bitcoin? No, you should buy it. I don't know if that's really an argument for what you're saying, but I'm just going to say that people tell me to buy Bitcoin all the time. Maybe those are bad examples, but in general. And maybe not you, but in general. What is MPESA? Bitcoin is better than MPESA. I don't know what MPESA is. Many people are trying to do it differently than Bitcoin using blockchain, proof of stake, etc., but they all have pros and cons. But we all can't call our money network Bitcoin because what the fuck do we call Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin legacy, obviously. People might not even care. I'm just joking. I agree with you. People might not even care what the name is one day. They might just have their favorite anonymous coin, pseudo anon coin, and Fed coin. They just call it 1, 2, and 3 depending. Yeah, I agree. Who knows? Who knows? That's my point. Who fucking knows? You can't say that, no, you can't do that when who knows? I agree. Really, like, I felt, and that was what I was trying to say. I was like, dude, you're taking this way too, like, seriously. Just, like, think about, like, just, you don't know. You don't know. Who knows this shit? Like, if the people want to call it Bitcoin, they can, and I can't control that. Like, it's not a matter of whether or not it's fucking, like, logical. It's just a matter of, yeah, they can do it. And I guess, like, with Chris, he was saying, hey, man, like, this is all Bitcoin. Like, you can call it Bitcoin. Like, I feel like I made my point that, like, this, like, Bitcoin really is this bigger idea here. It's not just the Bitcoin protocol, sadly. Bitcoin is like the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin are pretty much synonymous. In layman's terms, it's the same shit. Whereas Bitcoin really is a specific protocol, Bitcoin Core. I mean, so here's the other thing too. Like, Bitcoin isn't Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Bitcoin Core. So like that's another, like, maybe we should have that debate. I don't know. Maybe we should have that debate. But whatever. Maybe one day Monero beats Bitcoin. Will you call? Oh, I actually was going to reply to this, and then I decided I should just do a podcast instead. So maybe one day Monero beats Bitcoin. Will you call it Bitcoin and Monero? I think the day that Monero beats Bitcoin, you're going to see Bitcoin implement ring signatures and whatever the fuck else Monero has that Bitcoin doesn't. And then my question is to you: do you call that Bitcoin? Because that's really what we're getting at here. Because what if it's a hard fork? But what if you agree that should be how the hard fork is? What if some of the developers don't? I don't know. I agree with you. Like, Monero is not Bitcoin. But Monero and Bitcoin are both Bitcoin. Also, depending who you're talking to and how much time you've given it. I think. Methinksies. But that's not the argument that you're really making. But I feel like you're also making an argument that no one else is having with you. Like you're like you want validation on something that no one's really debating. Okay, I've spoken on this topic. It's kind of like comparing whether Monero is better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin, you can taint ledger data with external data because it's public, but with Monero you can't. Maybe one day governments will kill Monero and let Bitcoin live because of this. But here's the deal, you don't care about that. In fact, if you do that, that means Monero will go up in value. I mean, that's pretty much the argument always. I don't know if necessarily that even applies to what you're saying, but I'm just saying that, like, the more regulation on Monero, every time there's more regulation on Bitcoin, like, Bitcoin always prevails in quotation marks. So if that is your argument for Monero not working, I don't see how that's not hypocritical. But maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. But I feel like maybe you also left something out here. There are balances, maybe I also just misunderstood, sorry, if that's the case. There are balances, though, and a lot of this is easy to trace. They have public meetings and conversations. A lot of people just know it's out there. I don't even know what that means, so I'm going to skip that one. Well, that's pretty close. Yeah, they do not have track record of stability and keeping it safe. They are also very cautious about disruptive changes, hence being averse to hard forks. Oh, they do have a track record of being stability and keeping it safe. So this is the Bitcoin people. They also have very cautious about disruptive. We really need someone to come define soft fork, hard forks, user activated, whatever, not user activated, all that shit. I need someone to define that all for me. ASICs were never kept in. They were even predicted. I know they were predicted, but there's an easy solution to this prediction. But once again, I have to understand forking here, and I feel like that's an integral part of this whole thing. It would require a hard fork, and there is deeper issue. Okay, so you say that it would require a hard fork, and there are deeper issues with POL change we haven't even touched on yet. Is there? We're gonna find out right now with Bitcoin Gold, aren't we? We're gonna find out in about an hour. I can't wait. Hopefully. Also, I bet you what's going to happen is that everybody's going to sell off and it's going to, like, not make any sense to mine Bitcoin Gold. And then eventually it's going to be worth $1 trillion fucking dollars, but then no one's going to use it. And then it's just going to, like, dissipate, just like Bitcoin Cash will. Hopefully. That's the idea, right? One issue is that changing your algo will actually disincentivizes mining in ways. It could not go ask Jihan about that one. It could be the blockchain with the most hashing, regardless of centralization, still attracts a larger set of non-centralized miners, which could be enough. No one knows how much central... Oh, shit. Shit, did my shit just stop? Oh, no, am I still recording? No, don't stop. Okay, good. Okay, no one knows how much centralization is too much, but there is always some regardless of the algorithm. Nah, though. Sorry, and Jihan, I gotta call you out on this one, bro. You ain't releasing that new technology, my dude. Whereas when you have companies like Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, and ARM, or IBM, or anybody who's gonna be in the realm of silicon manufacturing, those motherfuckers are publicly traded companies. They have to do the best that's going to make them money, right? So if really what's going to make them the most money, I don't know. What's going to make them the most money? Holding on to that technology or just getting so much of a loan that they can actually release the technology to everybody? Because Bitmain, it seems like they just don't have enough capital. So what they do is they just sit on their technology for about... Because, like, really, I mean, if they had enough capital, they would just be, like, on the New York Stock Exchange, right? I mean, maybe I'm just kind of jumping a lot of shit here, but, like, really that's kind of like what a company wants to do eventually, just be publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. But they don't have that. So what they're doing and what they can do, and they have this privilege of doing, is that they can just fucking make their shit, don't really have to worry about the repercussions, and still make money on their new technology and then resell and sell that shit when... they can't make money on them anymore to fund their new development. I think that makes sense. Maybe that's not what they're doing, dude. That's me really. That's a slippery. That slope is a cliff. That's a slippery cliff argument that I just made up off the top of my head. Oh, also, I want to make this point. I want to be the Alex Jones of Bitcoin. Okay, that's also write that down. I am Alex Jones of Bitcoin. Okay. What was I saying? Jihan, miners. I don't really know this dude. I'm talking about him like we're best friends. Maybe we'll be best friends one day. I wouldn't mind that, just so you know. What was I talking about? I lost my train of thought. Toot toot. Shit, I really did forget. Oh, Intel, AMD. Okay, so there's the security of being a publicly traded company that you can rely on the company having, like, it's not lying when they say that, like, this is the newest technology we can make and we're using it. Like for them, it's beneficial to sell their GPUs. I guess the argument is that, like, look at Intel, AMD, what they could just do is, if they actually end up developing silicon that works, they can just make the silicon and then mine it themselves. My argument would be that, and I don't really understand the ins and outs of the argument, but I feel like it would be more cost effective for them to sell the newest state of the art stuff and to the public and let the public decide the market price rather than Intel and AMD, because that is actually going to make the price rise faster anyway. Because if you want the decentralization of mining, because that will increase the price, because that increases exposure and incentivization, because anybody can now mine. But people like Bitmain can't really keep up with the demand of Bitcoin miners. So for them, it makes more sense to not do that. I need to work on that theory, but I think I'm actually onto something with that. So we'll have to work on that one, guys. Please hear me out, or just, like, work with me on that one. If you have any, like, comments or that you want to, like, add to that, like, I'm still trying to figure that one out. But I think it kind of makes sense there that there is an incentivization for AMD, Intel, or NVIDIA if they started creating, maybe not ASICs, but if GPUs were more profitable to mine with, they wouldn't hold on to their GPU technology. They would sell it. But someone needs to help me out with that one, because I don't exactly know why that would be the case. But if that were the case, then we have a more decentralized and more trustworthy industry that would be supporting blockchain technology. Notice I didn't say anything about Bitcoin there. Okay, so what else? No one knows how much centralization is too much, but there will always be some regardless of the algorithm. Okay, I don't know if there's a difference between, like I said, there's a difference between accessibility and lack of interest. So there's not accessibility to Bitcoin mining, and the only good Bitcoin miners are pretty much from Bitmain, right? They're very difficult to get. They don't really make that many, and they don't have enough capital to really kind of do that, right? I think that makes sense. Also, the price of the Bitmain is kind of dependent on, like, the Bitcoin, whereas, like, the price of a GPU isn't really dependent on Bitcoin because they're utilized outside of Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin is also another use for them. And I mean Bitcoin in the general sense, not Bitcoin the protocol, just Bitcoin like any type of cryptocurrency. Okay, I don't know if I explained myself enough on that one, but I think I did. I guess there's more questions here. There's more comments on that. This is an area I don't know about, but my understanding from the past is that multi-purpose hashing doesn't really work because they have smaller search spaces and are brute forceable in the first place, but we need to get some more experience. I agree about this. We need to figure out who's the dude to talk about this one. So I read today, and I don't know about the validity of this, but that multi-purpose hashing is vulnerable because then you have competing algorithms. So, like, for example, like Zcash doesn't only compete with other things that use Equihash. It also competes with anything that uses a GPU. So it's like it also competes with Ethereum. It also competes with whatever, like anything that uses a GPU, regardless if it's AMD or NVIDIA. You're competing with each other. So Bitcoin Gold is going to be, not only is it going to compete with Zcash and Z Classic and Zencash and all that stuff, but it's also going to be competing with Monero. It's also going to be competing with every Kryptonite currency that's ever existed. It's also going to be competing with all the ethash, like Doge, or not Doge, but any of the Ethereum protocols. Those are also going to be affected by this, which I think this is why it's going to be worth more money. I have to pay attention here because I want to make sure I'm mining when that fucking ball drops. I got to make sure that I'm mining. Okay, can't use DirectX. Okay, so this is actually something I thought was interesting. Can't use DirectX because license is centralized. OpenGL maybe, but not sure. Can't still make ASICs that are more specialized and more efficient. So this is something I feel like might be a little bit of a misconception, but DirectX and OpenGL aren't encryption methods. So what I was saying is that you want an encryption method that utilizes the same calculations that are in DirectX, or the same types of calculations that are in DirectX or OpenGL, because OpenGL and DirectX aren't actually encryption methods, but they utilize certain parts of the GPU in certain ways that are going to be specific to those types of graphical computing languages. So if we can somehow replicate those types of behaviors in the GPU as far as the algorithm, we're now creating at least less ASIC, we're creating more ASIC proof types of algorithms. Now, I don't know if that's something that's even possible. I'm just kind of theorizing how this would make sense. But from what I understand, like, we're not actually running OpenGL code, because that has nothing to do with encryption. That's just how you process the gaming code. Right? It's just the graphics processing code. So in effect, you really could do something that emulates DirectX 12 or whatever, or DirectX 12.1, because you're not using the DirectX code. You're just trying to emulate what the DirectX code would be utilizing as far as the potential of the card. Okay, so next thing you say, consider that miner centralization might be a smaller issue than it seems. User-activated soft fork was users demanding miners adapt to what they wanted, and it worked. I think, this is most people, when you say users demanding miners to adapt what they wanted, most people who are users of Bitcoin don't understand that they can download Bitcoin, I think. So users are stupid on top of this whole debate. For the most part. Not all users, not the people who are listening to this fucking podcast, for the most part, probably only 10% of you, but still, not including myself at all. But I'm saying I'm not smart. 10% of you probably smart. Everybody else is probably retarded just like me, and that's why you're listening to this, and that's why I'm making this. But my point is that, what was my point? Oh, that users are too stupid to actually have an opinion and then incorporate it into their soft forks or hard forks or whatever. Don't give me an option, just do it. And make sure it's correct. I think that's what most people really want. Not most people who care about Bitcoin, but most people who care about making free money. It's an encryption algo. It's used in many things to encrypt data. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think devs have such a stake in mining as far as I know. Maybe none, or maybe you mean they should. The devs probably have more of a stake in mining than they would admit to, is my point. Because that's how what they're developing accumulates value. The reason why they're probably developing is because they've already accumulated value, and it would be in their best interest to accumulate more value with the same thing. And that's why they're developing it, because they see that if they have a say in the way that it develops, they can actually personally control the way that their value increases. Consider that if your dream of a multi-purpose consumer-compatible mining is feasible. Okay, so GPU mining. It will happen, and people already are working on it. I think it's more challenging than practice, though. Okay, I don't know. I think he was talking about something I said, but it was in reply, so I don't really know. They probably are the best in the world. I haven't seen much evidence otherwise, but still no. Oh, the Bitcoin developers are the best in the world. I haven't seen much evidence otherwise. It's still no reason to blind trust them or everything they say. Yeah, we agree. Core devs don't even agree with each other, Yeah, I agree. Okay, LOL. I think this is when I'm just saying stupid shit. I want to learn too, and I choose talking with you because it's challenge-free, not because it's necessary to a student, but I have spent endless hours debating and learning about this for 4 or 5 years, and a lot of this stuff, same ones you are having for the first time now. Yeah, as I said, I believe a lot of I said and believed a lot of incorrect stuff, and less so over time. Bitcoin is fucking hard. I'm not an expert. I would say as much. I'm a veteran and an activist. Okay, that's fine. I would definitely say he's an expert, though. I would say it's very difficult to be an expert on Bitcoin because, like I said, your expertise is only going to be how much of the Bitcoin you own, and then how much money have you made on it. So you don't really even have to have any money. You don't have to have any Bitcoin to really be an expert on Bitcoin, as long as you made millions of dollars, right? Because then, and if you can continue to do that, then you're definitely an expert on Bitcoin. I would say, and you don't even have to have any Bitcoin currently. also. In fact, you don't even have to ever have Bitcoin. You could just make Bitcoin on all the other bullshit if you really wanted to. And I would still say that you'd be a Bitcoin expert if you had millions of dollars from cryptocurrency. Because that means you understand Bitcoin as a whole, not just the Bitcoin protocol. There was something else here. Maybe he deleted it. I felt like he actually agreed with me somewhere here. And then I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. Oh, there's definitely... Here, actually, there's a bunch of shit I missed here. Okay, well, there's actually a bunch of shit I missed here. Well, okay, yeah. Bitcoin transactions, a smart contract. No, there's a smart contract project for BTC. They just needed SegWit to progress. The value of Bitcoin would likely bring advancements in any algo chosen. I think that if there's a total pie of mining budget out there, and no matter the cost or algo, they will use the budget towards mining the most valuable thing. I didn't read that correctly, and I don't know what he's trying to say, so let me try that one more time. Value of Bitcoin would likely bring advancement in any algo chosen. Oh, okay. So I was saying, like, why, like, okay, we value SHA-256 for some stupid ass reason, and like, we're like, isn't there some like another technology that would be more useful to humans than SHA-256? Like another encryption method that, like, if we kept mining, it would be somehow more beneficial. I feel like that's the possibility, and like a good example of that is kind of like Gridcoin. You know what I mean? But there's other ways to extrapolate that. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily benefit. No, well, whatever. Let's just say Gridcoin. Gridcoin is a good example of that. Okay. I lost it again. There was something else he said here. Was it at 30? Whatever. I think we're done here. Yeah, I just wanted to reply to him. Sorry that this probably could be edited a little bit better, but it's not going to be. I actually kind of just like doing these on one single shot. But I think we have a lot of interesting debate here. But I'll give it to John. Look, Bitcoin 2 is never going to really be Bitcoin. But I'm saying, colloquially speaking, like, yeah, all this shit's Bitcoin. Not to John, because like he said, he's a veteran and an activist. But to like Joe Schmo grandma who has 90K in the bank is like, I want to invest in something. It's all Bitcoin. And like whatever it becomes, like Bitcoin 2, probably to grandma, if Bitcoin 1 didn't exist anymore, it would still be Bitcoin. But I'm still giving you this. Like I still really deep down agree with you. But I do feel like, you know, it's just like really, it's just a crazy claim to say, like, no, you can't say that. I just think that's crazy, because like you can say whatever the fuck you want, especially if you have the right propaganda behind it. And like these things do have the right propaganda machines behind them. Like these things are being promoted in ways that it seems like they're like manipulated by small groups. Like that's the conspiracy right now on Reddit. It's like, oh my god, the price went down so quickly, I guess it's a conspiracy, it's price manipulation. I saw on Buckcoin, r/Buckcoin, it was, remember kids, like when the price goes up, that's organic growth. When the price goes down, that's market manipulation. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things is true. You know what I mean? I think. And it really is true for both cases. So, you know what I mean? Come on, kids. But whatever, that's just me. And I think, you know, I'm not saying you can't make money on this shit, but like, come on, guys. Like, you know, you don't have control over it. None of us have control over it. Like, the Bitcoin developers obviously don't have any control over this shit. And maybe, once again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe tomorrow it's 10K. And maybe that matters. I don't even know if that really matters. I don't know if it should be determined by the price. I don't know yet. I'm not that well versed in it. But as far as the argument goes, you know, can you call it what do you want? Bitcoin Gold will never be Bitcoin. Unless all the developers start developing for Bitcoin Gold, and then we're really not going to differentiate, will we? But that's not going to happen. So for the sake of reality, yeah. But for the sake of not necessarily reality. For the sake of ideality, it could happen. Okay, so Bitcoin Gold is going to debut in just a few minutes now, and I have to make sure my shit's ready. So I'm going to get excited about that. Hopefully I'm mining. If I highly recommend anybody, if you're going to be mining Bitcoin Gold, check out those GTX 1070 Ti's. They're going to be specifically made for this stuff. I'm going to be interested in buying a couple of those. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe not. But we'll see how long the price lasts and if I actually make any value today. I don't want to say money because that's not really a money thing involved. But if you want to call it value, that's really all I'm getting out of this, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing. But hold on to your coins, boys and girls, because we're in for the fucking long ride. And, hopefully it's a fun time. This went a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be an hour, but, I'm super excited about this thing. I didn't think Bitcoin Gold was originally going to work because, the fucking node, wouldn't even run on your computer. I'm still trying to figure out how I copy over the old blockchain to the new one without, me having to re-download the completely new blockchain. I was having a lot of trouble connecting to peers, and the reason I was having trouble connecting to peers is because there's no real network, apparently. But yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully this will all hash itself out, no pun intended. And hopefully I'll be mining some Bitcoin Gold. Okay, boys and girls, I'm out of here. I had a good one. This has been episode deuce of Altcoins Anonymous. Hope you guys like the name of the show. I actually really enjoy that name. You guys can hit me up on Twitter. Twitter.com/UncleMuscles. Also, Altcoins Anon will be the official title. I also have a SoundCloud and YouTube channel I'm working on too. I'll move it all over there if I end up ever actually getting views on this stuff. I don't really think this is going to be something that's taken seriously by the community. I'm going to still be releasing this content. I actually like this format. So if you guys enjoy this, I really appreciate it. It's not meant to be taken too seriously, but like I said, it's something that I enjoy doing. So, hopefully you guys, value my opinion, or just at least hopefully more than anything, you just find my opinion entertaining and don't, get offended or take it personal. And like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this in the first episode, but I will exaggerate. I like exaggerating. And it just for, especially debate purposes, because it really exemplifies, what we're trying to get to the bottom of, I think. So, whatever. But whatever, don't hold it against me, guys. And, shout out to John. Shout out to the Coin Dojo. Shout out to my peoples. And I'll catch you guys soon, boys and girls. Alrighty, have a good one. Bye-bye, guys.